funny story about what occurred here. Yes, the players were 100% right. It was indeed listed right here. 10 or higher, not 11 or higher, is what's needed to succeed. Otherwise, you fail. Oh, the thing that makes this actually funny that this got argued is I was doing it completely wrong, actually. Like, yes, I was making it harder and technically more in favor of death, but for stabilization, I was completely incorrect. Like, literally, I thought the 3 successes was, hi, you're at 1 HP. That's not the case. You're still at 0 HP, you're just unconscious, and you won't die until you're attacked again. So, essentially there's various things that they taught me here about the rulings that I did not realize, specifically death save rulings. One, yes, they were right, so it will be 10 plus from now on. However, I will essentially just say that Candy's powers stopped being weird for them as much. And so they're no longer getting to 1 HP, unfortunately, from the death save thing. And I have warned them that, yes, this is the case now. Because, like, it was kind of like a double-edged sword with them, figuring this out. They got a new action that they can use for somebody's at 0 HP, and they don't have, like, a healer around. They can actually stabilize the person by using a medicine check that is, like, DC 10 or something like that. Yeah, DC 10 medicine / wisdom. Also for the points of the death one, it is 1d4 essentially. And so yeah, that's gonna be the case. And that's kind of how death saves are going to be ruled from now on. So like 10 or higher, you get a success. Otherwise, you fail. Medicine check if you want to stabilize somebody, and you can. After you're stable, if you've not been killed by like being repeatedly stabbed or something like that, then it is 1d4 hours for you to actually come back up. And be perfectly fine. And kind of like one thing that I thought was decently powerful actually is just like, yeah, hi. I basically could just write it as death save failures do not count for you. So basically meaning, do not roll death saves, they are irrelevant for you, you do not die this way. That is essentially what the death protection thing grants. So yeah. I mean, funny enough, there is a class being like the Barbarian's Pathozealot, actually, that does this. At like 15th level, either that or 20th. Like, I definitely know that by 20th level you do it. I think it happens at 15th level, so don't quote me on it. But you literally get this ability while you're raging, so you can literally just attack indefinitely, or be raging indefinitely, and just be like, I'm immortal now! Run, stab, and basically be just like chaotic evil, and nobody can really harm you. That's part of the reason why I would never actually throw a Path of the Zealot Barbarian at my players. Mainly because I realized how broken they are. And I kind of will say that I will probably prefer you to not play that, but I'm not gonna necessarily stop a player that specifically wants to play it. Such as, like, if Hasio wanted to play a barbarian and specifically do Path of Zealot, I could reason that yes, he would do the Path of Zealot. I probably would not like him doing the Path of Zealot too much because literally I know that at later levels he will literally become absolutely immortal. All he has to do is just get something like Lucas where he can't die of old age, and the character is pretty much a god that cannot be killed. Like, straight up. Like, once he rages, as he can't die of old age, since he already has, like, a boon or whatever that is giving him the immortality that way. And then his class, being the Path of Zealot, literally gives him just absolute immunity to falling unconscious. You can't die while raging. You rage indefinitely, and it doesn't say that it ever falls off. But getting off topic there. Sorry. I mean, to be fair, if you watched to this point and you've actually watched like all the other ones, I one, congratulate you. Two, you're used to this at this point. Let's be honest there. And so, I'm going to start up some of the scenes that occurred essentially around what's probably going to occur with the with the stuff now. So this is all like that very night. Well, these next two things, and I'll say whether or not they are at the point. So this is right after they've essentially called him messaged him, and where he has said, straight up, I still will kill you. No, they're right. I will kill you. Well, you piss me off, I will kill you. Because he literally does not care. He will literally like, I could bring up the example of Kanta, who will always try to kill him, and he will always refuse to kill him. But if Kanta ever really pissed him off to, like, a absurd point, he would literally murder his greatest ally. Just simply because it's like, I don't care they're my greatest ally. They pissed me off. They're dying. Have a good day. And so we never did get to Candlelight Woods or Javor. I will show those maps just for anybody that actually was curious. So this is the military district of Candlelight Woods. I apparently didn't have on the map what everything. Oh, no, I did. So like up here, for the main stuff was like the gun store. This was actually not attacked. Do keep that in mind. And that was 100% there. That's about the only thing that got saved. Some of the things that also occurred here was right here got attacked. That was that's essentially the armory. So that's where all of their like armor and some extra guns and ammo would be. Right over here is the stable. And then just kind of like over here is kind of like a, well, the part that's like right here is essentially kind of like in those two ways. Is this way is this way is kind of like the male's clothing. You go on this side and go it doesn't get shown well, but if you go like this way, then it is female clothing. well, PMO swimsuits. That's basically how that is kind of going. And then over here is kind of like the mess hall. And they do have a couple of gates. It's for like security reasons, such as like down there, down over there. There is fencing, but that's about it. Uh, so basically, what they essentially had to do for this was quickly find a way. Find a point where it was clear. Head into the armory, take that out, and then quickly run over here, take this out, or take out this. Try to get this, which was highly unlikely, and then get this. So they went with like a secure hard hit. They didn't quite do it to where they have absolutely no response, but they're not going to be able to respond to this. No way. The other thing that was a decently important thing was over here at Javar. This is also in Kronia. Now, these are pretty much just houses. I didn't fully get them to be ready. But this is essentially just kind of like a banks type. Like, this is a bank type city. That's basically it. So, like, down here, maybe a supermarket, and up here is, like, houses. But, like, over here is probably, like, a bank or something. And the importance of both of those maps are going to be gotten into. Now that I've actually gotten all that. Oh, wait, yeah, no. I'm going to actually state this just a little bit. So, hold on, let me get the illustration up. Okay, so this is kind of just what I wanted to do to illustrate it. These two are pretty much like Kronia agents. I have no idea what their names are. I will 100% say that I do not have them planned. But they do go in art, but they are around and they do actually respond. She kind of does respond as well, but she responds for a different reason that I kind of don't bring up at this point. But I have stated and probably theorized that yes, this would be possible, and I'll kind of bring it up when I get down to it. So this is right after the call and the message from the players, as MA is just sitting alone thinking, as they're kind of thinking aloud, being, who would be foolish enough to try to be me and interact, or rather, what could they have done to attract their attention with them pissing them off to the point of attacking? The issue is, yes, I know how she is, but I haven't ordered anyone to attack those around Mara, or to go retrieve her. As he receives the call, and he says, yes. Just to learn you, the military district of Candlelight Woods was attacked. Not much damage, but the horses seem to be singed and dead. Most alarmingly, opposed to some killed and burned cat girls, the weapons seem to be gone. So, whoever did this is now extremely armed with military-grade weapons. I'll let you know on what I can find out later. Alright, I'll leave it to you. Get back to it as he hangs up. And he receives another call. Very active night. He picks up. This is big. You need to get here. Hold up. Get where? The bank in Jafar was robbed. Okay, that is serious. What can you tell me? We have cameras. Surely you checked. Yes. I checked, but it makes no sense. It seems like a Black Pudding came in and destroyed its path to the vault. But portals came up under and stole the gold. And anyone that touched it seemed to cease to exist down to their very bones. Alright, I got a theory. Thanks for the info. I'm on the case. Just get back. Just get the gold back. You know how it is. As he hangs up. Oh, right. As he goes and says, "Candy!" Who then promptly appears as he says, "Yes? You gave magic powers to cultists." I saw no cultists when I've been dishing out the magic powers. There have been cases of magical girls dying, though. Is it possible the ones that are cultists faked their deaths? Only if some other feat and helped, because the source of their power transfer after making it seem like they died killing each other. Which ones did that you know of? Surely there can't be too many. Well, dying, there was corrosion, fire, ice, lightning, shadow/assassin, and psychic, and light. How many of each? I don't keep track. Why keep track of dead people if you're not a god of death? It makes no point. Damn it, Candy! The one time you could have been extremely important, you're not. Now I have to track these people down since they did things to make sure their acts are known. I really wanted you to know so that I could focus on my needed work, opposed to dealing with possibly irrelevant things. Why do you say it is irrelevant to this world? I know, they never appear in Magicalist worlds. So, I have 3 ways for what we need to deal with. 1, we kill all of them, so there are none to come back to. 2, we banish them, as those that did never had any indication of them showing up in those areas, so long as the one who sealed it was alive. But the issue is the ritual. Finally, 3rd, we piss off Mystra and get rid of them by destroying the weave and getting rid of all magic in the world. And only very select people can ever use it. It is to that extent that is why it's irrelevant, since if we need 3, they will lose access to their magic powers. Who can use it on 3? Only those that can normally create magic, such as Mystra, and no mortal can access the gods, or even use magic, and they will not come around here until a magic god decides to head around the edge of the sphere, letting them into the sphere and feasting. What about magic items? They will have no effect outside of in the presence of gods. I know you taught some people to use magic even if they're not ordinarily able to, such as barbarians. What about them? That is better to be termed as psionics rather than magic. Candy tilts his head and says, "What?" Consider it magic from the mind, such as reading thoughts through mental capacitors, using said capacitors to move water or some other fluids in water, well, in air and stuff like that. But most importantly, compressing air. Anything else? You're completely useless, Cat, if you have nothing else for this. Go away. As Candy then disappears. As he receives the call and accepts, as he says, "Who the hell is interrupting me this time?" As she says, "It's Yukiko, sir. How bad has your night been that you're screaming for the first statement?" "It has been rough. 3 important locations have been attacked or robbed, and I am done with it." I mean, it shouldn't surprise you after Fox Range. You mean I should expect incompetence from everybody? Sorry that I actually had faith. Uh, uh, why don't you come over for a drink? It might help you take your mind off of things, or make you feel better. Like I have the time! How about one of the trainees, such as Kit? Or possibly you have that Alice person come here to aid, while I help you with your worries there. I can send her, but Sake will not help. Do you mind activating the teleporter for a quick transfer, then shutting it off? At this point, I'll do anything to shut you and everyone else up so I can focus. Great. Well, I'll call you tomorrow when I'm ready to activate the teleporter and head over. Alright. I now welcome you over since it gives me a good chance to punish you for slacking off and not investigating the fire sooner. And I'm supposed to know that people will foolishly attack the capital? Not so much foolishly attack the capital. More to expect the possibility and check fires, even if you don't think it is, so that, if they, attack the capital, you're ready to respond, and especially check if they seem to be rapidly spreading. You're being punished for being too lax more than anything else. As they hang up and essentially are ready to prepare for things tomorrow. So anyway, as that is going on, over here at the Yuan-Ti Temple, several people are back. And they go and I'm gonna do the same thing. Luckily I have Shoro Mask-Wrestler, so, luckily we did our city stuff already. We need to move there and start proceeding with our plans by increasing the members here we send, or being more tactical. What do you mean? And we don't have the resources to attack or disrupt the angels yet. The gods will be hard enough to overcome as we conquer Celestia. And why is that an issue? We attacked a capital, a top bank, a military district, taking what guns and ammo we could. We attacked the Princess of the Angels. And you did all this without asking me. You guys screwed up. If I know MA, and I know him, then he might be stressing out, but he will act, and if he finds us, then I hope, then you have to hope that I can fend him off. I have faith in you. Then since I have fought him, I will need some extra power. Huh? Why do you need a pact? No! You have to give me that magical girl power that they have. Should I be able to stand even a slight chance against MA in the event of attack. And what is the status? I brought back great weaponry for the regular cultists, and even for us, but the most important is with the lack of horses and weaponry, they will be extremely slow to respond to us from the capital, and lack tons of power to stop us. I successfully got the gold, so we should be billionaires. And the other two failed to act and get that angelic princess. So, they failed my orders. Yes, but not from incompetence. And we underestimated at how big their force is. But now we know. One also thing that screwed them up, they woke up the girls. Had they not brought up the girls, specifically the angelic princess, they would have been nothing against these two. Only the fact of the angelic princess healing them repeatedly, were they able to survive the fight and proceed to go further beyond what they have. Uh, and we also know their force relies on magic. I take it you have a plan. Yes, but it is risky. I have two options. One, we wait for them to split, specifically away from that princess. But that's very unlikely. It's very likely that they're going to keep her with somebody that can protect her, since they know she's being hunted now. Oh. The other is to weaken us to destroy them. How do we do that? Simple. We set up a similar town elsewhere, rigged with anti-magic everywhere. And all we have to do, is use the arsenal of guns we have, and just annihilate the threat, lessening what we have to deal with when we finally go after that angelic princess. And the point. We murder them, of course, or without protection via magic. The bullets we will have will eradicate all threats until nothing is left. Can't you do that without anti-magic? Depends on how easy you want this fight to be. They focus solely on magic. Take away magic, and they suddenly will not be able to deal with the bullets as well. However, that said, we will also be dealing less to them, but it should be no big deal. We want as little attention as possible. Then kill it is. How is leaving in bodies normal? It will be investigated. Tut tut. Justice has laws that it is legal, and once murdered there, they will no longer be able to speak, and no need to investigate anything that went on, since they were clearly deemed weak, since they could not protect themselves from being murdered. Didn't they have cars? Simple. Get to a place where no one would hear an explosion. Attack them with fire until they explode. Again, attention. Again, MA is onto us. We need to act rationally and fast. We have a ticking time bomb. He will kill his most trusted allies in times of war, and only mourn for their passing, and at the point of complete victory for his side. And you say this is war. The powder was poured at Fox Range. The events tonight were the match. And with the explosion, he noticed and is rushing to find the one on blowing up sacred places for him. Then I trust you to keep under the radar and act with as much as possible. I plan to, but remember the deal. Of course, but you also know you must uphold your part. Who do you think you're talking to? Hold on, I set up the next thing. Okay, so this is how they would next see this area. And one thing that I did promise being, what was the meaning behind her actually talking about the progress on Fox Range? Actually, no, I don't think she ever did. Anyway, the importance of her specifically being in Fox Range is she's actually helping with the reconstruction of Fox Range, actually. Uh, so, yeah, she's probably going to be nominated kind of as the leader. She's probably going to turn it down, though. Either that or just be looks around, grabs other Fox Girl. I gotta say we should follow her instead. I am totally unfit to rule. Mainly because she doesn't want to deal with the other one that's the current leader, who's literally just doing whatever in the castle, as a complete idiot. I mean, to be fair, it's mainly on the constitutional monarchy. She's also getting it to where, like, they're importing in stone this time. So essentially, like, the capital and other important buildings are probably going to be done with stone, and like that's kind of going to be how it is, opposed to wood. So it still kind of has like that natural type thing, essentially, and not destroying the environment too much around there, but also not to where, oh hey, fire elemental right in the middle of town. Bye town. So anyway, to here, MA goes and starts this off by saying, "Oh, you actually showed up. Yes, and I brought the steak." As he takes a sip of the steak. "Great. Now that I add some, you're coming with me." As he drags her off to various rooms. Now, to speed things up, yes, this is actually me, not anybody else. It is essentially basically a torture session, where in certain cases she is stripped and proceeded to be whipped while having things in her crotch, essentially to go and have like that type of torture. She's also occasionally being stabbed by tons and tons of swords, just piercing her skin. So she might have tons of scars. She's possibly being shocked. And then tons of other points where she's screaming internally. Very rarely externally, because they do kind of have like this very high pain tolerance before they actually express it. So you can just think that they're not doing anything by the fact that they're not screaming, but they're internally they could be screaming like all heck. And then extremely rarely, and she was screaming in ecstasy. Now, when this essentially comes into play is when the players show up or about after 4.5 hours of torture, whichever comes first, and they come into her being stabbed outside, essentially. Now the thing that is truly important about the fact of the 4.5 time. If asked, she will state 100% that she came from Fox Ranged last night because he screamed at her, and she knew that was not normal, so something was up with him. Now this is 4.5 hours. So essentially that's kind of why I decided, oh hey, they could just straight up head over to Seameet in like 4.5 hours, meet MA, and then figure out, oh hey, he's been torturing a Fox girl. who, when they get pissed off because he's torturing Fox Zero, the Fox Zero will probably chime in being like, considering the fact that he screamed at me last night, be glad you were not here without me being tortured. And basically the thing that would have happened had she not been there for being tortured, they probably would have been stabbed, knocked unconscious, stabilized, well, thrown out as he runs across the bridge, stabilizes them, stabilizes them, and then just runs back in, and as they come back up after like 1d4 hours, or until Mara just heals them essentially, which to be fair, when MA is going to run out, it's like she would probably just be sitting there with the hand on the hood or something, being just like, so why did y'all do it? And please tell me you're not going to go back in there and do it. So yeah. Couple of interesting points. I'm honestly kind of surprised that they've not thought that these cultists are magical girls. I'll also bring a couple of things I'll bring up before I start doing the session next week is, in case they didn't notice it, I'll make sure that they do know that due to me looking up how it actually works, yes, a 10 will now be a success. However, stabilization will work differently because I figured out that I was doing that part wrong. So, like, I was making it harder for them to live, but also I was making combats easier by, hi, you can now get up from 0 HP, opposed to you just being unconscious and stable. Because like there's so many different points that, had I known that that was a thing, would have actually probably changed things, such as mimicry. Most recently mimicry, where at least Rani got up. Had I known the actual wording, yes, those 10s would have been successes, and she might have been stable sooner. She still would have needed healing from, like, Juzba. Or taking a potion. And, like, they're straight... Like, now, literally the only way to get back up from being unconscious is either A, you wait that 1d4, like I said earlier, or you kind of just receive healing. The other thing that I will kind of bring up is the teleportation thing, because they didn't ask for like a meta thing, which, dude, actually I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to state that. I might just wait for them to ask Candy could those combat things be used in, could the portals be used in combat, which Candy would be like, yeah, but I can't say that you would 100% be able to be effective after using the portal instantly. Basically meaning, yes, you could use the portal in combat, but it is technically making it to where it is either A, taking up your bonus action, or B, taking up your action. I'm leaning kind of towards like bonus action, and just can do it as an action, and either one essentially, and then just being like, I proceed from there. However, for example, just kind of use rock, because I know that they have stuff here. So, like, for example, Byron, if he was attacking, if he was to teleport from, like, here to here, and he was facing like here, he could only fire about the building. But if you teleported in the same location, and he was looking this way, he could fire it this way. Like, you can only fire it with what you would actually be able to see without turning. So you will definitely have to declare on which direction you are facing when you teleport. That's the only direction you can face after you've teleported. I am going to be 100% strict on that. It has to be, if you're facing this way, you have to be facing this way when you attack. And that's because I'm leaning towards them just straight up not being able to attack anyway. Though to be fair, I didn't realize that he was that low on spell slots, actually. I thought he had much higher spell slots, or that he didn't use as many. As you, yeah, I could kind of fear that, yeah, he was right up above there, but I didn't think that the Wyron used up enough spell slots to get all the way down to 0. But, yeah. One of those things just kind of occurred and I didn't notice. Oh yeah, right. One explanation that I will also kind of give is when the cultists kind of went into portals, and then the MA kind of came out, they were 100% correct, and I've told them this, is mainly because one used the meta point, that yes, it was this guy, not the actual MA that they're used to dealing with. He still knew MA, and he still was pretty much like correct. It's just that one thing he didn't know was, he didn't know that Wyron was kind of like a little bit, like he was a little bit less on Wyron being like, and so he should have said like, well, an actual MA response, believe it or not, would be like, you keep that up and I will kill you. Same thing, same thing to Russia would be like, you're even worse. You say one more word and I might just kill you. No, that's kind of like how a typical MA response would have been. And it's just that, to be fair, the funny thing is, their characters are making false depictions when, believe it or not, yeah, this guy was actually corrected with how MA would have acted, or actually been pretty much, like he would have been at least there, hence why MA didn't respond to Wyron being like, nope, they're right, I would kill you. If you piss me off enough, I would kill you. Don't think you have immunity from me killing you, boy. And that's just kind of how it is. Now one thing that I will kind of note is I'm not sure how many parties we're going to get, but it should be decently fun. And essentially it would be like parties of like 2 to 6, so that like we hopefully don't get like too many people that are like, hi, we're all trying to talk at one time, we're all talking over each other essentially, and so it's just absolute chaos and nobody knows what's going on. Because nobody wants to be in a session where the DM is like, well, okay, I have no idea what's going on. Sorry, I know you said something. What did you? Can you repeat what I said? What you said, so I can respond with how the character would respond, or give you some role to do. Essentially. Uh, but yeah, these people definitely will be going and getting tons and tons of stuff. Of And yeah, we definitely did go and have a bunch of memes stuff going in. One of my favorite things was essentially this meme where, yeah, hi, here's Wretched! And here's Hazio, just minus the plate armor. Uh, I think this may be Connor and add armor. This I'm not sure who would be. I'm not sure on who this would be. Maybe Crow? Wait, no, this is a female Wyron. That's what that is. That one I have no idea who that would be. But yeah, that was a fun thing. So yeah, uh, um, they definitely did have plans, and they still do. Oh, and I ultimately apologize for the plans that they are laying out, because the trap that they are about to lay out is actually a very important trap. Like, basically, you saw, like, I'm pretty sure you all saw, like, back here. This guy is actually very tactical. So he will use everybody here to his advantage. So he will actually use, 100% use her. Well, her. Actually, yeah, both are female. Oh, I don't know why I said her or her. Well, I don't know why I was about to say him or her, but yeah, it's basically one of those two females. He will not mind telling them to literally risk it, go out into the open in a city, and tell the players, yep, I heard you're new in town. Do you have any information on the city that recently came up? You might have been there about the time that it came up. And so it will actually matter then on how they go. So this will be on the GM layer, or for something. And that way they don't, because that's not something that's on the map. They can head straight there if they want to, but there's no mapping to where it's actually like, yeah, there's something there. I mean, I could theorize that yes, they would go and do something like there to where it actually makes sense, but they also have to make like towns would pretty much be like mainly in this type of square, so they would have to make that essentially, and then they would kind of state that like this is the main place that they trade with, so that's about it. They don't do much trade elsewhere. And that's kind of like something that is believability. Now, the thing that the players are not going to know, and they will have to roll like knowledge history in order to figure this out. There's actually pretty much no reason for that to exist. There's literally no reason for that town to actually exist. That is literally just being like, hi, let's get them someplace to where I apologize, steal all of their valuables. I feel so bad for actually coming up with this and role-playing these guys properly. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, we want to get these quotas now, they will die. But also, it's like I'm essentially taking away tons and tons of what they could have used. So like once they get to there, it's like, yeah, hi. Let's just get rid of, well, after they kind of have been defeated by like just tons of weaponry and just like absolutely outclassed. Because like there's just ton, like after they get out, they might go and encounter somebody that is just essentially kind of like this peon that kind of may guide them to something where it's essentially just like execution via firing squad. That is what it is. And so it's kind of like they know they're magical girls, so they know that they are gonna have to get rid of magic to kill them. And that guy did know that, like, yeah, they were probably magical girls. Actually, no, I'm not sure if they would know that they were magical girls. I suppose that they wouldn't know that they were magical girls once that kind of like Kirk got up. Assuming that like everybody was there. So yeah, like as far as they knew, they were just like normal people and just doing massive damage. They didn't quite know that it was too magical. Actually, hold on. Let me roll perception. Okay, so I would need to figure out how many times did the other person kind of get attacked. That person, I was. Actually, no, hold on. Let me see if they got more rolls. Okay, so one thing that I did realize was, yes, there were actually multiple attacks. I'm actually kind of surprised that they did go and get one thing. So the sniper rifle, I'm not going to give them perception rolls on that one because they don't, like, it's a new weapon to them. They have no idea how getting hit with that is actually supposed to feel like. With an arrow, they know about how much an arrow would deal. So I have given them the option on that. So Kirk, who was the first one sniped, is just like, that guy was probably just very strong, and I'm just very weak, so I got one shot. Delaney is like, takes one hit. That was probably just a very powerful normal arrow. Takes the second shot. Again, probably just very powerful normal arrow. Third shot. Down, and that was probably just a normal arrow as well. And then Lucas gets one perception roll. There you go. One perception roll. The only two ways they can actually figure out that they're magical girls. One, they ask Kenny about the portals. Two, they ask they go and kind of like have Lucas roll decently well. You have to beat a I'll call it a 15 to notice the slight magic while in. Actually, no. I do say that probably should be a 20. Notice it like in a split second during combat. They got hit. They got hit several times. I know, twice by the law book. Once in the actual slit. The other time, like right before they went, right before they went into combat, and then the other time was also, I think there was also a third time, which they noticed on the second time. That was, they tried to attack in with the law book just right there, and so they're like, oh, there's a little bit of electricity going on from there. They're probably a magical girl like me, specifically a lightning. So the same style as me. They're probably not gonna. I'm probably not gonna deal as much to them. Which was also part of the reason why they dealt with Vellani first, because they knew that, hi, that person was in a kill box. They're probably down. The only one that could have actually went into the kill box and not actually had to be a kill box was actually Lucas. He was the only one that was actually immune to that person's damage, that would have actually turned a lot of their damage to where it's just like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm just here. This is just a normal arrow to you. Releases it. Like, they were literally just normal to each other. And that's kind of like the funny thing about this combat. Which, to be fair, it's like kind of a shame that I kind of did cut it short, but yeah, we were running short on time because we didn't get to it till like what? Okay, so literally we had about 2 hours 11 minutes. It's when we actually started the combat. So yeah, it was one of those things where it's like I technically was seeing the clock and it's like, well, yeah, we normally play for about like 2-3 hours, so it was giving us, for this combat, somewhere between a half hour and an hour and a half. So, especially by the point of when I was seeing it end, it's like, yeah, they were just, like, Mara was just going to be too much of a healer for them to deal with. Like, because technically she could go further than the reserve. Because, like, if you want to be technical, something that they could do is, it could have been just like counted as like there for her spell slot usage, actually. Because yes, Mara is actually more powerful than what she kind of states, essentially. But that's just kind of how it is, essentially. And so there's not really anything that anybody can do about that. There's not really any way that people can pretty much tell about it. I still have to go and work on the character a little bit more, but that's a secondary thing, because like basically it's just like, hi, give them a ton more spells, or as you can see on this, plant things like, for example, where they're next going to be, such as if they actually ask around, what they will get is, so far the places attacked were Sheathia and Cronia. So if you want to view that as a pattern, the next place would be Refrain. A different way to be considered what to be considering it is that they attack Gringa, because they attacked Sheathia. Actually no, they went Malfolana, then they went Sheathia, then they went Cronia. So you can either view it as Refrain being the next target, which, to be fair, Refrain will fit basically any sort of idea you want, because it's either boom, 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 or it's high, high, high. So it's just kind of like, which thing do you want to do? Do you want to do it as like this, just connection to Malfolana? Or go and say that was a connection to Sheathia, rather, and it being boom, boom, and then their next point is either boom or boom. But yeah. This is now going to be kind of interesting, because it's essentially going to be, like, depending on how you want to term it, me versus the players. And the reason why I say that is, as if you view it as like the players taking them down as them winning, then yes, it's 100% me versus the players. Because MA is trying to defeat the cultists, well, figure out the cultists, is figure out who's behind them and who's doing this, like who's their coordinator, because there has to be somebody with this. There's no way these are just regular cultists, as what he is knowing. And because there was seemingly, well, from what he can get from Yukiko, there was seemingly a fire elemental that was attacking Fox Range. There's also seemingly a black pudding attacking Trevenor, attacking Trevenor a few days later, and also Candlelight Woods is attacked. So he's probably going to be able to get some information. Like, I'm not going to quite say that he can get the information from Darmorn, but he would actually have to go there, and I would have to make a roll for history just to see whether or not the person can recall or be like, Eric, it's been so long, I can't remember. I really wish I could tell you, especially considering you're you, but I just don't remember it at this point. I can't tell you anything. Sorry. As he just kind of leads, goes away and starts to try to formulate, like, where would they be? Because it's kind of one of those things where it's like a cat and mouse type thing. Because Modian knows how MA would act. MA does not quite know what Modian, how Modian would act. So Modian knows that MA is searching for him and for the cultists. MA does not know that Modian is alive. As far as MA is concerned, Modian is dead. And he's essentially just kind of like, he's kind of here. So it should be a very interesting thing when they finally go and be able to confront this. When they actually go for the cultist hideout, I will 100% say they will have MA on their side at that point. But it's not for the entire thing. It's just like MA kind of just splits off and is like, well, I'm searching for whoever is behind this. Good luck defeating the cultists. See ya. As he just runs off trying to find them. If they try to say, no, we should go as a group. It's like, you're wanting me to deal with the person that I'm wanting to deal with. Because otherwise, they are going to make things harder for you. I.e., hi, you're dealing with me. I think you would rather have me deal with me alone than deal with me, but then have me deal with me with you all around. Essentially. So yeah, they might figure out those magical girls. I'm just gonna tell Lucas next session, roll a perception check. It's gonna be a DC 20. No context. Just a straight up perception roll. How likely is he even to go and get it? Okay. Answer. He is like Delani. He needs a 19. And I mean, to be fair with Kirk, like Kirk would have needed a 15, and to have rolled a 15. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that they're going to do that. Obviously, I'm not going to roll for that player's character just yet, but, well, like right now, because essentially player agency type thing. And because that's something that I do kind of prioritize in my games. So it's kind of why I let them go to Darmorn, or rather give them the plot to go to Darmorn, which has set in motion this entire adventure. This is actually becoming much more of an adventure than what I thought it would be, in all honesty. And like, I essentially kind of like, had they gotten the information at Darmorin, which they didn't, they would be able to have checked Elsa Marie and been like, is there a Yanti here? Or has there been a Yanti around? It's like, no. Is there a Yanti here? No. Is there a Yanti here? I think there was a Yanti over here. And lo and behold, that's the Yanti that actually started the forest fire. I say the burning of Fox Range. And, but of course they do not know that yet. I already know that after they see this, Hazio is going to be like, that Yanti needs to die and die now. Because it's not so much the cultists themselves, it's just that one fire one that actually did all that damage. And everybody else has just been like, let's steal stuff. The fire one's been like, let's burn people to go and cover our tracks. Essentially kind of being like a phoenix. It's just not quite, because they don't want to bathe the entire world in fire, but they do want to essentially leave like as little trace as possible, which is why they will try not to burn grass, because then it's like, okay, obviously somebody who has capability to use fire was here, so any perpetrator would have to be able to cause a fire. So if they don't have fire, then it's either they did it and they removed the evidence from themselves. And so therefore they're lying. Or somebody that is doing that is just automatically getting checked. Like there's no way about it. Like, it's either you just didn't have it, and so now you're getting checked, or you're just kind of there. So, it is what it is. I hope you all enjoyed hearing and what is going on in the background. And they will not know about any of what's going on. Actually, no. I will tell Lucas later on that Candlelight Woods was burned. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Yeah, it's just in that one specific area. So, like, MAs did give the people being like, yeah, check everything, and check everything pretty consistently. And so, like, the person was seen, the perpetrator was seeing those patrols getting, like, how long is it until everybody is caught, essentially? And being like, okay, so, they check here, now is the time to check, to go in, and I have this long to get into the stables and get out and stuff. Which is why they could get the armory and the stables, but they couldn't get the gun shop. Because the time would have been just like, for them to have checked everywhere else in the city, would have been just like too long, too short for them to actually go into the gun store, steal everything, and head over into the armory, steal everything there, and then kill all the horses to really delay that response. And they're probably going to be like, okay, we're making sure these guns are protected. They are not going there. For any extra plans being made, they would not go and have them be responded to. They would not attack there, because they would be told, like, and they would tell those people to check there. If it's been attacked, it's probably going to be checked, and if it is something that is highly secure, like a gun, chances are it will be protected. There's nothing we need there. Let's just move on. Essentially. And so when the heat dies down, they might go back and steal the guns, but that would be about it. But chances are, until they're down, there's not going to be any less heat. So yeah, just kind of 4-hour session. And I definitely do enjoy the intro and outro that Lucas has been doing. And I definitely want to see... I definitely can't wait for them to kind of see, like, the behind-the-scenes work between, like, MA trying to find the cultists and the cultist leader being like, okay, so how do I outsmart MA? As the players are also trying to outsmart that person. So it's essentially like, if you want to be technical, like 5 to 6 minds trying to outsmart 1 mind. Well, it's kind of like 4 minds, technically. If you want to be truly accurate, 5, which is fighting against one of the minds on the other side. Like that's honestly something that's now kind of funny. What I kind of enjoy about this entire thing, like, literally, I am on the side of the cultists, but I'm also on the side against the cultists, specifically with NPCs. So it's kind of like, how do I do this without metagaming? Because obviously MA has to piece together every single piece of information he can get if he wants to find these cultists. However, the cultists can't know specifically about what MA is. They're just being like, okay, so off of his personality, it would probably be about like this. Like, they have to go off of how they know MA. And so they're essentially going to be probably being like, okay, we should be expecting that he knows everything off of his network. So if we do something, we should expect he knows about it already, or pretty much he will know about it within a few hours. So we have to be acting very quickly with everything we do. So it's like, oh hey, we've told the players about something. Okay, they've been told about something fishy going on. And so if that fishy thing is trapped, they have a couple hours before that to spring that trap there, before it's like, just leave. And Mara would probably be like, yo, MA, by the way, there's probably a trap here. If you want to go and deal with it, go ahead. Or if you want to check out this mysterious place, go ahead, do it. I don't want to go anywhere near that. And that's kind of like the sign of, oh hey, they're going to just, MA's just going to run there, try to catch them. Unfortunately, if it's in like the Black City, and in the current example, it's just like, hi, is 3 hours. This is not quite 9 hours. Like, MA definitely is going to be going faster than cars, but that's also because it's like he's just running on the road. How I picture the MA is just like, he's just running all along the road, being like essentially just being like Sonic. And so that's just kind of going on. But yeah. That's kind of like everything that's going to be going on here soon. I have been invited to a Discord where we do have this. And so one idea that I'm now thinking about is if we do get enough people for it, and people do want to have different times, I would not mind doing essentially multiple parties. The only thing that I need to do after that is just being like, how do I balance this? And basically being like, how do I get it so that, for example, the players in a different party are ready to fight the final boss at about the same point, and so essentially it's two different parties working towards the same goal, but they don't know they're working against the same goal, and so different things are going on around the world. And so one thing that we could do as a pretty cool thing is, if people are fine with it we can find ways to kind of conjoin some parts of the two parties. And it's essentially like, oh hey, there's something that's going on. It's like we could have representatives from the two parties hear about things from the other group and kind of just like meet in the middle, being like, as it's like, hi, how are you? Passing on the road, essentially. Or like, kind of just meeting up in like the diner because like it's lunchtime or whatever freaking reason we decide to go and give it to where they're actually in two different parts. Though to be fair, that's also something else that gives rise to that is then we can explore this world a lot faster because there's two different sessions. One here that's centered more around Mafalana. The other one could actually be more centered around Oberish. It's to where you're actually going more into like Goshan, and Yapsa, and like maybe Ellsbury. Oh, sorry, not Ellsbury. That's a different thing. Elsma. That was what the proper term was. But yeah, basically my only rule with this that I'm giving them is pretty much no chaotic evil characters. At least for character creation. Well, in terms of character creation, no chaotic evil, because I don't want people to go around to literally have a legitimate excuse via alignment to essentially be a complete asshole and just going around murdering every NPC simply because, oh hey, that NPC just had like insert item I wanted here. And so I acted with arbitrary violence and spurred by my greed to literally get that item. I just killed that NPC. Deal with it. Yeah, no, I kind of dislike that type of reasoning. So it's like I'm just kind of bringing it up in that thing right there before anybody kind of makes a character that I will not tolerate that at the table. So I am not going to let somebody be chaotic evil. Especially considering the fact that like anybody that I've talked to that's actually wanted to play chaotic evil, I've said what it means, and then I've said like a different chaotic thing or a different evil thing, and it's like that fits better. Like literally, the only reason to actually play chaotic evil, the only reason chaotic evil exists, villains, and people that want to go and give reasons for being a complete asshole. Will give people that want to have a complete reason to be a complete asshole to the DM, especially if the DM is homebrewing every single NPC and is taking the time to literally plan out every single NPC like I am. That's the main reason why I'm not wanting really chaotic evil. Uh, because I don't want them to just kind of be like, oh hey, there's the king or some other powerful person. Let's just kill them because I want their treasury, and stuff like that. And so I could have like very cool NPCs planned, and have tons of cool stories planned for them to go and do and interact with the players and stuff. But yet then there's the chaotic evil person that just kind of murdered the NPC before they could really do anything, and so all those cool stories that I had thought of just kind of go to waste. So that's the main thing, which it's kind of like fair enough, especially when I'm taking my time out to prepare like 2 different games, and it's being this where I'm planning the cultists and stuff, and then like playing a campaign like over here or something. And or if we get like even like 3, just have another one be like here, maybe here, essentially. I mean, yeah, like I don't mind showing people the world map as well. Which I might go and show as well, and just kind of be like, if somebody needs a zoom in thing, yes, I can do it, but otherwise just kind of like have, well, take a picture of this and in like GIMP or something, be like, here is well, just list kind of like the country names wherever they are, and if somebody wants a zoomed in thing, then I can just kind of do like, for example, this. Either that, or I could just say that if it's on a Monday or a Friday, feel free to just kind of, if you're curious about the world, just kind of ask me, and I don't mind getting this up to explain things about the world. Because frankly, that when I stream, that's what I do. But anyway, just to make this short, the other rule that I'm kind of giving them is, if you are doing a homebrew thing, send me the documentation. And because like, if you're wanting me to create a class for you, I could probably do that. However, that is going to take me probably a good 3 months to do it, because I'm gonna have to, like, this week's school's starting up, so I'm gonna have to start planning for that, and that's gonna be cutting into the plans for my DM stuff. I still have stream stuff that I have to do, such as grinding, and if I have to do that for like any sort of thing, whether it's be just like, I'm just grinding up, like XP to get skills, or basically anything, essentially. It's just kind of like there. Not much that you can really do. Oh, and then the other one that I am, the other things that would also add in to the time is planning any NPCs that get added. And I have to actually make plans for 2 different NPCs because they're facing each other now. And then that's also in addition to planning different cities. So it's like, I frankly, rather than go like over 6, if it's 7, I could probably manage it. 8, yeah, no, I'm gonna want to split the party at 8. Because I honestly I've tried 8 before. I mean, if we want to do a trial run of 8, I don't mind it. But I tried it as a new DM. Yeah, no, I could not do 8. I'm not sure if I can do 8 at this point, but yeah. That's also a different thing that I stated, which is partly why I'm bringing up that we might have multiple parties. And so, in certain occasions, and I might go and just be like, well, essentially it's going to be a kind of like a switched if there's multiple parties to where there's the Broken Havens 1, well, Broken Havens Part 1, on, or rather Party 1, and then there's the Party 2. Essentially, you can watch them in any order. It's just that Party 2 will be taking place pretty much like at the start of the cultist stuff. I'm not sure if I would go and have them be like level 10, but I most certainly will try to go and get it to where it's like, hopefully I can speed level them up to, well, I'm probably going to give them a little bit more missions from like Candy and stuff, to where they level up faster to 10, essentially. Or level up faster to the actual party. Obviously, I'm going to give them a little bit of downtime, but just kind of like there. So that's all of the plans. Kind of like if there are multiple parties, is at the final boss, all parties kind of just conjoin, and we do this, hopefully, albeit long, on epic boss fights. To where, like, yes, players might die, but that's D&D. That's something that, like, players should honestly, in these games, more expect the character to die. The only reason why they would actually be saved right now is they're probably going to have something to deal with the cultists. Well, their death is probably going to have something to do with the cultists. MA would probably realize this and be like, okay, the cultists probably did something. Let's revive these people and hear what occurred. Maybe we can find something in there that could actually pinpoint us to where the cultists would be. And he's essentially just trying to tick off, like, where have they checked? Because he kind of knows that, like, each time they attack in place, they're exiting off an area. Because then that area gets checked. And if they don't find the cultists there, or anything that got stolen, it's obvious the cultists are not there. Or they're just intentionally avoiding everything there, and they're just really well hidden. And so, it's kind of going to be like this kind of mouse game there. I hope you all enjoy on, like, the cultists trying to rob everything they can, but yet also not give away their position for where they are actually hiding out. They have moved their hideout, so definitely I will say this, that they are no longer out over here with the dragon over here, because like that guy said, it's like, we need to move. After that stuff occurred, they kind of just got out of there. And so FMA goes to check that island, and because it's like, you know what, they're probably hiding out there. Let's check out there first. So he goes to check out there, and it's like, frick. If they were here, they're not here now. I can tell that there was something on this island, but I'm not seeing Mammon. I'm not seeing any of the cultists. I'm not seeing anybody on this island. And they are just not here anymore. And so he essentially just spent the time to go all the way out there for literally no reason. And to be fair, he's probably going to do that. Let's be real. He probably would go all the way out to that island just to find out there's nothing there. Kind of unfortunate for anime, but good for the cultists, I guess. So, that is what it is. As I see you all on streams. Like I said, if you want to go know any more information about stuff, I don't mind answering it essentially on stream, kind of like as a player type thing. So like I don't mind people going and coming into my stream being like, hey, I saw that you do on YouTube the Broken Havens, which to be fair, that I do enjoy that because that does mean, oh hey, yeah, you actually came from YouTube, you actually like my content, or at least you like the content enough to where you actually watch this and actually can sit through me, essentially. Which I do know that's kind of rough, especially when... And I've done this where I've rambled on for about another hour. So, yeah. Might cut things out. That I've repeated, essentially. But, yeah. I love people just talking in my chat. I don't usually care about what. I mean, obviously I prefer it to be about what's going on, but so long as it's not like, for example, Call of Duty and, which, to be fair, like, if there's other people in chat that are also doing it, then yeah, I'm probably gonna want it to not be as much about Call of Duty if I'm not into it and participating in the conversation. But like, I don't mind people coming into my chat and talking about like D&D, asking what's going on with the Broken Havens, and kind of just like being kind of like a backseat player type thing, and figure out what's some of the current issues that are facing the players, and just kind of like everything else that's going on. And so, I've rambled on for way too long. This is already like a 5-hour session. And so, I hope to see you all for the next stream. And nothing else, I hope to see you all next week, at least if I get it out on time. Because there's never any guarantee on me actually getting it out on Wednesday. Especially with college coming up, where I'm needing to keep track of school. And so I might just simply forget with all my classwork to actually edit the session. Like all I have currently. I mean, heck, to be fair, I've also not done the Genshin stuff for the week, but that's something for me to deal with now.